Okay, let's be real. Do you ever feel like you're just drowning in a sea of textbooks and lecture notes? Yeah? Well, you've come to the right place. We're going to break down how to read smarter, take notes that actually work, and, most importantly, how to get your time back. Yeah, just look at this picture. Does this give you a little bit of anxiety? I know it does for me. The endless reading lists, the back-to-back lectures. Man, it's a feeling I think pretty much every student can relate to. The sheer amount of information just flying at you can be, well, it's intense. And hey, the thing is, you are so not alone in feeling this way. I love this quote from a student, Christopher Naldini. He says the pace is just relentless and it can feel totally overwhelming. He really hits on a key idea here, right? Taking notes isn't just about writing stuff down, it's literally how we start to remember and actually learn. All right, so let's dig into the problem itself. We're calling this the College Reading Challenge. What is it exactly that makes all this reading and note-taking feel so tough? Okay, let's do a quick check-in. And be honest, this is just for you. How do you feel about these statements? Like, I am reading on a college level, or I take good notes that help me study. Are you managing all your reading? Do you even have different strategies for different subjects? Just being real with yourself right now is the first step to figuring out where you can make some serious upgrades. Okay, now this is fascinating. A survey asked what actually makes students read thoroughly. And guess what? It's not a deep love for the topic. Nope. It's quizzes, it's assignments, it's the assessment. That's what drives the real effort. It kind of shows that a lot of the time we're just reading to survive, right? Not to actually understand. But here's the good news. We can totally change that. All right, we've talked about the challenge. Now let's talk about why this is all worth it. We're going to get into why reading literally changes your brain. Because it's not just a chore to check off your to-do list. It's doing something truly profound inside your head. I mean, just think about that for a second. A biological upgrade for your brain. That's not an exaggeration. Every single time you really dig into a text, you are physically rewiring your brain. You're not just downloading facts, you're literally enhancing your own cognitive hardware. How cool is that? And look, this isn't just some inspirational quote you'd see on a poster. This is backed by hard science. Get this. A study at Emory University literally put people inside MRI machines and watched what their brains did while they read a novel. And what they found was amazing. Increased connectivity. It's like different parts of your brain started talking to each other more. The language centers, the sensory centers. And get this. That biological upgrade lasted for days after they even finished the book. That is wild. So the takeaway here is simple, but it is so powerful. Researchers Cunningham and Stanovich found that the sheer volume of reading, how much you read, directly contributes to so many things. We're talking vocabulary, general knowledge, even spelling and how well you can talk about ideas. The more you read, the better your brain gets at, well, just about everything verbal. It's a total win-win. Okay, so hopefully you're feeling a little more motivated about reading now. Let's get tactical. Let's talk about reading smarter, not harder. How do we actually do this? How do we handle that mountain of reading and actually remember what we've read? And this right here, this is the core of it all, the difference between skimming and active reading. Look, skimming is fine for a first pass, right? You're just getting the lay of the land. But active reading, that's a whole different game. It's like having a conversation with the text. You're not just sitting back and listening. You're asking questions, you're looking for answers, you're really wrestling with the ideas. So how do we actually do that? How do you become an active reader? Well, there's an amazing tool for this. It's a system called the SQ3R method. It's this systematic strategy that pretty much forces you to stop being a passive reader and get engaged. Okay, let's break down these 5 steps. It's super logical. First, you survey. That's your quick skim of titles and headings. Next, you question. You turn those headings into actual questions. This is the magic step, because now when you read, you're not just reading, you're on a mission actively hunting for the answers to your questions. Then, step 4, recite. And yeah, this might feel a little weird, but I promise it works. You say a summary of what you just read out loud. Finally, you review it all from memory. It seems like a lot, I know, but this process guarantees you're not just looking at words on a page, you're actually pulling out the meaning. All right, active reading? Check. But that's only half the battle, isn't it? Now we need a system to actually capture all that great info you just dug up. So let's dive into some next-level note-taking systems. Okay, listen up. If you only try one new thing after watching this, please please make it the Cornell method. I'm serious. This system is a classic for a reason. It's an incredibly simple, organized system for taking notes that, well, that actually work when it's time to study. So here's the magic. It's all in the layout. During class, you just take your notes like normal in that big main column, but the real work happens after class. As soon as you can, you go back to your notes and you do two things. First, in that smaller column on the left, you pull out key ideas, cues, and questions. Then, at the very bottom, you write a quick 2 or 3 sentence summary of the whole page. That simple act forces your brain to process everything right then and there, which is absolutely crucial for actually remembering it later.
Now, the Cornell method is awesome, but it's not the only tool in the toolkit, right? If you're dealing with really logically structured stuff, a classic outline can be perfect. And if you're a more visual person, oh man, things like concept mapping or even just adding little sketches and doodles to your notes can be a total game changer for your memory.
Okay, so we've read actively. We've taken amazing organized notes. We should be good to go, right? Well, there's one final sneaky enemy we all have to face, and that's the forgetting curve.
This is a real thing, first studied by a psychologist named Herman Ebbinghaus. And it's kind of scary. It basically shows that our memory for new information just drops off a cliff. I mean, a steep cliff, if we don't actively try to remember it. All that hard work you just did, poof, it can just vanish. You want a number to go with that? How about this? You can forget up to 75% of new material, not in a month, not in a week, but within just 2 days if you don't review it. 75%. All that effort in class, just gone. But there is a secret weapon to beat this curve, and it is beautifully, beautifully simple. You ready? Review your notes within 24 hours. That's it. That's the whole trick. That one simple act basically hacks the forgetting process. It sends a giant signal to your brain that says, hey, pay attention, this stuff is important. And it starts the process of moving that info from your shaky short-term memory into solid long-term memory. And you know, this is why all of this really, truly matters. This isn't just about a few clever hacks to pass your next midterm. This is bigger. As the great Frederick Douglass once said, once you learn to read, you will be forever free. Learning how to truly engage with ideas, that's the ultimate tool for empowerment. Mastering these skills will serve you for your entire life, long after you've left the classroom. So the question is for you now. Which strategy are you going to try first? You don't have to do it all at once. Just pick one. Maybe you'll try the SQ3R method on your next chapter reading. Or maybe you'll set up your notebook for the Cornell method before your next class. Just pick one, give it a real shot, and start taking control of how you learn.